Hello, hello. Welcome to Law for Love. He say, she say live. I am Shar Salasi, attorney mediator. I love the Black community. I love my people, and I love how we love each other when we are having conversations, when we are hearing each other. And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to listen, and we are here to find the truth because the gender wars stop here at Law for Love. So my primary practice is family law. And, I am in that space where people reach out to me because something is really, really wrong in their family situation. Something has gone left. Something's not working. Someone's needs are not getting met. And unfortunately, for too many people, the conclusion is, you know what? Maybe I'm just in the wrong relationship. Maybe things will get better if I just walk away. And sometimes, that situation is understandable with respect to people being in a very toxic situation or in an abusive situation. But too often, people are coming to the conclusion that they need to separate or they need to divorce because they are hurting too bad and there's no reversing it. So I want to talk about that today with respect to finances, money. So, um, hey everyone, welcome in, brother Fast Nickel. Welcome in, Auntie. Thank you. Thank y'all now. And so I'm glad that y'all are here to join me for this conversation because we're talking about money. And we're talking about something that I see a lot of in my work in the divorce space, and that is marriages coming to a demise. And it just so happens that women are earning more than their man in these certain kind of situations. So, um, should it even matter? Should there be any difference in the relationship where the woman is the primary breadwinner versus the man? Um, so I can speak for, my generation growing up. The expectation was that the man is supposed to take care of the household. The man is supposed to be the financial provider. Child support. Most often, we're talking about men paying for child support, and we're looking at women expecting to be taken care of financially. We joke a lot in my house about what my husband's money is. Well, my money is my money, and his money is my money. But that's a joke. We joke and play about that, but this is a really serious conversation because there's something that I don't think a lot of men are expressing when it comes to some of the dynamics that take place in a relationship when their wife makes more money than they do. And I don't know that women, again, I'm speaking to our community, Black folk, I don't know that we always are conscientious about the attitude that many Black women take on when we can take care of ourselves. We got our own house, our own car, our own money. We really don't need a man to take care of us, right? And part of that is intended by the powers that be. Let's call them that would really like to see us continue to be at odds, would really prefer to see us not getting along with each other, that do want to encourage female disrespect towards men because we have a certain type of financial opportunity that maybe our men don't always have. And as I'm kind of like looking into how social media is really talking about this issue, I think it's very telling the fact that people are going to the data to figure out, okay, hey, do Black men earn enough to take care of Black women? Do Black men earn on average enough to take care of the average Black woman? And it's almost like, this searching for validation that our men are able to take care of us. And, I will agree with that. Our men are able to take care of us. But let's take a look at something. We'll start off with a little jokey joke. So, how do I do this? How do I share? How do I share the screen. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Want to present. I present my screen. Screen. All right. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, I think I'm supposed to share the sound, right? Oh, hold on. That's the wrong one. Wait. I'm sharing the wrong one, y'all. One moment, please. How do I don't do this enough to know what I'm doing. Share screen. No, I know I picked the right one. And then I'm supposed to be able to share the sound. All right.
Every time I get online, y'all traveling, y'all starting businesses, y'all owning houses. Yeah, and I just wanted to let y'all know we see y'all and we proud of y'all, man. But that can be intimidating for us, man. That's intimidating because my girl make way more money than me. And it messes me up as a man. Like it messes with my self-esteem because I can't do the things that she can do. Like I can't move the way my girl can move. A couple months back, her friend called her up. She was like, girl, my birthday is next month. We going to Costa Rica. We finna turn up.
That's right.
My girl said, you want to go to Costa Rica? Okay, well, I'm gonna buy my ticket right now. Just let me know if you want to do a hotel or a resort. It's your birthday. I said, whoa. You gonna buy the ticket right now? So you ain't gotta save up or nothing. You just...
So I mean, he's making light of something that I see a lot. I see a lot in family disputes. Women making more money than men. Women moving differently than men financially. We have a culture that's kind of promoting, boss chicks. We are, like you said, we're traveling, we're making money, we're starting businesses, and it's like a thing. You make your money, you work hard, you play hard, and we celebrate each other around this freedom or this liberation, this financial liberation, where we got it, we're gonna spend it, or we got it and we're gonna do what we want with it. And with that, I'll be the first to say, having your own money gives you a sense of autonomy if you're not already kind of operating in a submission type situation with an understanding, even if you're making more money than your man. And it makes me think about this really, like, it was funny, but it was real. I went and I met with an older couple. We were doing some estate planning. Beautiful couple. They've been together like 58 years, married, and cutest couple as can be. And after asking them both, what was the key to staying married? And I share this story all the time because of how this woman responded. At first, when he was in the room, she said, well, you work together and you make it work, and that was her answer. But when he left the room, she looked at me like, where was I supposed to go? And so I was so tickled because I'm like, okay, she's coming from a generation where not many women had the same financial opportunities that we have right now. Where was she supposed to go when he was the one making the money and she was at home with the children? She was raising the kids and keeping the house while he was the one providing for all of that. So her options of leaving were little or none. And in those generations, two generations ago, there was an expectation of a certain amount of respect for the man when he was the one who was providing for the house, providing for that roof, providing for those kids that you're raising, allowing you or empowering you as the woman to stay home and take care of the house. But like now that we don't really, we're this generation is just not in that same spot. We're not. And part of it, I do question whether or not it is by design. I do question whether or not our community has been flipped upside down, even in terms of economic opportunity and the messaging that we are targeted by as women, so that now when I have my own money, I don't need you. And with messaging like Tyler Perry, I could do bad all by myself. Why do we say that? Because we have a financial independence that breeds a disrespect and a dishonor of our men who are no longer in the position most of the time as the sole breadwinner. I like what this sister had to say. Let me share what this sister said. So, was the comedian guy correct? Does for men having your woman make more money than you make you feel insecure? The brother said he feel intimidated. Are our men intimidated by women making more money? All right, let me see. I like what this sister had to say.
So one of the big things that we're facing as women, as Black women in particular, and it just is what it is. And you are going to have to make a choice. Are you going to allow this thing to keep you in bondage, or are you going to find your path to freedom? And the thing that we are facing and dealing with is, in many cases, or in lots of cases, the woman makes more money than the man. I've been happily married for 26 years to Demetrius Richardson. As I said, Grandma B planted the seed in my life, and Demetrius Richardson surely has watered it. But it's no secret that for the great majority of our relationship, I have been the breadwinner. But for me, that doesn't mean anything, because his love, his courage, his protection, his caring for me and our children, that is the way that I've been able to make money. Without him doing the things that he has done, I wouldn't be able to make our money. It is our money. So I know that a lot of you are in new relationships, or you are in relationships that need some fixing, or you are in relationships that need some guidance, and you're not there yet, and it's okay. So I have gotten so many inboxes and DMs and messages on my website from women who want to be free, and you're trying to figure out, okay, so how am I going to make this work? I make more money than him. And if you are anything like me, you grew up with the grandmama that said, what's yours is yours, and what's his is yours. Yeah, that's what my grandma said. She was like, listen now, always keep some money to the side, and what's yours is yours, and what's his is yours. Now, I love Grandma B, but Grandma B passed at the age of 98. She hadn't had a man for about 50 years, all right? Maybe a little bit more than that, but 50 or maybe even 60 years, okay? So I cannot take on that belief system and make it apply to me in the life that I'm living today. Times have changed. Women are getting more education. Women are, back when she was coming up, women couldn't even buy a house without their husband. Women, in many cases, couldn't have a bank account. Women stayed home. So things were different then. So some of the things that your mama, your big mama, and your Medea, that they're teaching you, love them, give them a kiss, smile, or do whatever. But you can't apply that stuff today. Okay, you're gonna be alone if you try to apply some of that stuff. So I'm just gonna go through some of the questions that I.
So I love this because, again, like I said, I joke and tease. Here at the house, I tell my husband what's mine is mine and what's his is mine. Because, we know that that's old school. But of course, Shar is self-employed. We're here doing our thing, running our business, and really, I carry my financial weight in our relationship, and what's ours is ours. And so I love what she was saying about, hey, I make more money than my man, but his courage, his love, his protection, his support is why I'm in a position to make more money. And even how she like broke down, grandma ain't had a man in 50 years. Like I'm sorry, ladies. I mean, I know that there are some of us who are completely satisfied without having a man in our life. Like sometimes having a man is a lot of work. And I'm not here to say that you are wrong if you have decided for your lifestyle that it's just a more peaceful situation for you to go it alone. You're making your own money, you're taking care of yourself, and having a man in your life is more stress than you want to be bothered with, and that's true for some of us. But when we're talking about a lot of the women who are in a situation where they're making a lot of money, they want a man in their life. When I'm working with these high earning women, and I'm not talking about no little bit of money, I'm not saying they man making little or nothing or they man unemployed. I'm saying sisters are making bank, and the level of their loss of respect for their man, uh, a lot of times is because they're still looking at their man through the lens of 2 generations ago. Just like this sister was saying, big mama and your mom, your grandma, they were looking at, make sure you have you a little something on the side. Why? Because women did not have a financial position. In fact, I want to say it wasn't until the early 1900s that women even had the right to own property here in the United States. A woman could not own property. That was common law from England, and here in the early stages, well, not even that long ago in the United States. And now it's being said that women are buying houses, single women are buying houses at a much faster pace than men are. And a lot of that is because of our education. So we got to be mindful of this dynamic, because it's one thing if you're making your money and you decide you're fine being single. But if you're making your money and you deciding that you want a man in your life, then there's a certain kind of attitude that comes with bringing that money to the table and maintaining that respect for your husband and not seeing him as less than a man because you making more money than he is. And what about the insecurity that the man has when he's coming into that situation? Here was another sister I wanted to share her insight about this conversation as well.
So what do you do when the wife makes more? You do the same thing you do if the husband makes more. Believe it or not, guys, that was actually our story in the beginning of our marriage. For about the first 3 years or so, I was the one that was actually bringing in more income to the household. But you know what, guys? It didn't matter. I never made my husband feel less than. I never brought it up because you know what? It didn't matter. In our home, we believe that we are now one because we're married. So everything is oneness, including our money. So it didn't matter who was bringing home more money than so it didn't matter who was bringing home more money than the other. All the money went into the same pot, and we took care of all of our household needs. So we didn't have his money or her money or his expenses and her expenses. I know that there are a lot of married couples out there that actually take on the expense route where you take care of the mortgage, I take care of the light bill and the cable and maybe the items for the kids and the groceries, and you take care of, other utilities and the mortgage and things like that. And to me, guys, I actually think that that's a lot confusing, believe it or not, because I think that that's actually how tension can arise. Now, I know. Some of you guys are going to leave a comment and say, well, Ty and tell it because we've heard you before. It actually is working pretty well in our household. But in our household, and because we do live our life according to the Word of God, and the Word of God tells us that we are now one. When that man joins with their wife, we are now one. And so we treat that in everything across the board.
All right. So I would say that would be the mindset that would make it make sense. One of the dynamics we see a lot in broken marriages is separation of finances. Separation of finances, if I had to say that there was any type of red flag or indicator of the likelihood of a marriage ending in divorce, it would be separation of finances. Nearly, I would say 95% of divorces that I have handled have involved separation of finances or a financial arrangement similar to what the sister was just describing, where the man takes care of the mortgage and his wife takes care of utilities and groceries. That is very, very common in the families that we meet. Separate finances, or where we see one spouse just completely blind to what's going on financially. But I wanted to have this conversation because I wanted to kind of just air out some of what I'm perceiving men are feeling. The issue, brothers, is this: that oftentimes you're having some perceptions, you're having some feelings, you're feeling some type of way when it comes to the way your wife is moving. And you're not always able to give voice to that. You're not always being heard. Your wife might feel like she don't even have to listen to you, especially if she's carrying her own weight. And this is the mindset that is at the root of the brokenness in the relationship. I pay my own bills. I'm carrying my own weight. I'm making my own money. All of those thought processes are about self, are about me. And what I really, really appreciated about this last couple was the conversation about ours and we. It all goes into the same pot because men are guilty of this as well. Well, I'm the one providing for blah, 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 blah. If that is present in the relationship, it is the same type of disrespect as though a woman is saying, hey, I'm the one who's taking care of I'm the one pulling most of the weight. So, men, my question to you is this: how do you handle your woman earning more money than you? How are you handling that arrangement at your house? How can your woman be more supportive of you when she earns more money than you? Or does any of it even matter? Because the other thing that I have seen, I've seen men who are, like the comedian said, intimidated by women making more money. But where does that come from? That comes from being defined in your identity based on how much money you have or how much stuff you can buy, what your portfolio looks like. That is the way capitalistic society values people. And all of us are subject to that value system. How much money do you have? People tend to pay a little bit more attention when they know that you have a higher degree of spending power. People tend to treat you a little differently when they know that you have change in your pocket or you have some type of perceived power. But there's also the type of man I've met who is not unfazed by the fact that his woman is making more money than him, because she still maintains that certain level of respect for that man in the relationship, irrespective of the money. His identity is not tied to his ability to make more money than her. They are not competing with one another. And that's one of the things that is a very important element in terms of navigating who's making more money, especially if it's her, because we're no longer in the old school. We're no longer in 2 generations ago and before that, where women weren't even expected to, needed to, or desired to work outside of the house. We are running stuff out here. And walking that line where I'm the boss at work, but I'm your wife at the house, that's a skill set that we have to work on in terms of the way that we're looking at what we're bringing to the table. Yes, I'm making money, and at the end of the day, I'm still your wife, and everything that I earn is ours. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is ours, right? So that is my spiel for today. And I kind of feel like, I've kind of been putting my feelers out there, talking to men about this. And it's a real hushed response. But know this, I will be coming back to this conversation, brothers, because there's something off here. And I think that we, as the women in our community, those of us who love you, of us who support you, those of us who respect you and honor you in your position, we really want to get a better understanding of what we can do better so that our men are not feeling some type of way because of how we're moving financially. And sometimes, ladies, maybe it's not even anything that you're doing wrong. Maybe it's something that's broken in your man where he's not healed, and you're reminding him of something or insecurity that he's carrying, and you're earning more money than him is simply just triggering a wound that hasn't healed. But the lack of conversation that the brothers have been having in response to me asking this question, I am going to continue to ask it. And I'm going to continue to invite you to really have an open conversation with your sisters so that we can figure this thing out as a community and as a family. So, with that, I wish you all a blessed evening. Thank you for joining us here at He Say, She Say Live, He Say, She Say Family Coach Live, where the gender wars stop here. We are trying to help people avoid the mess that I see. I am hoping to bring reverse engineering of these broken family situations to our community so we could benefit from everyone else's mistakes. We don't have to go down the same road that so many people, it's painful and it's horrible. And if you think that divorce is, the grass is greener on the other side, somehow you're supposed to magically heal and everything is supposed to be better. It's not. The healing just begins at divorce. The healing only starts where you begin to ask yourself some hard questions, if you're willing to. How did I attract that mess to myself? And what can I do to never attract that mess to myself again? And that's the question that I challenge our families with day in and day out. And if you are involved in a family dispute and you would like to talk about it and receive free mediation, again, I am here for it. It does not have to be live. You do not have to share your name or your video. But what we want to do, we want for people to get an understanding how mediation works. The more we've tried to describe what this is, the more difficult we found for you to really understand if you are not seeing it in action or watching the dynamic between two people having a conversation with someone in the middle to interpret what's being said and what's not being said, and using that interpretation to bring people on the same page, find where they agree. The things that you agree to is what we build upon in mediation. We build one small agreement after the next. And the way that we do it here at Law for Love is extremely special and unique. Even other mediators that we've met are shocked at our process, but it is extremely compassionate and very trauma informed. So I do invite anyone who would like to have a conversation offline, participate in that process, whether it's to make things stronger or to figure out what the future might look like for both of you. I am a big advocate of us keeping those things in-house, in the family. I am tired of seeing our people run into a public court system, airing out our dirty laundry for strangers that do not look like us to make decisions for us and our children and our financial future. There is no need for that when you have professionals and spaces who are skilled, who care, and who have everything that you need to take care of these things behind closed doors, especially when you find out and you learn that the Asian community in particular, you do not see them up in court. It was my Korean colleague who informed me, who brought it to my attention years ago, that in their culture, when a husband and a wife has some differences, they go to the elders and they sit down with the elders, and the elders help them privately sort out this mess. For many of us, the church has been the place for us to go to. But if you're not connected to a church, or you don't have the type of elder apparatus in your community where you feel safe and you feel like people are going to respect your privacy, then where do you go? That is one of the things that have been missing in our community and that I am passionate about, that we look to our own as the resource for going back to the ancient paths of how we settled disputes privately and we preserved our dignity. Let's not continue to take our business into the streets of the public court system. So with that, I love you all. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you next week.